What's going on, everyone? I got the CEO of Mimir World Project up in front of me here, guys. This is Mr. Viktor Sodermark. He is based in Stockholm, Sweden. Definitely very privileged to have him on the channel today, guys. Viktor, how are you doing today, man?
Well, I am doing just perfect, and thank you for having me on your amazing channel, Professor Crypto. And how are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Thank you, brother, for asking. I got a few questions for you here, man. I'm hoping that we can run through them, get some more information about your project, you know, make everyone feel comfortable about it, get a little more information, perhaps start their own due diligence journeys. Are you ready for me?
Yes, sir. Fire away.
Question number one. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself as well as your background?
For sure. I like the setting here. We're quizzing each other. That's right up our alley. So just like you mentioned to your audience, my name is Viktor Sodermark. I'm a Swede that loves gaming, loves crypto and blockchain, and for sure loves a good quiz. Roughly 5 years ago, I went down the blockchain and crypto rabbit hole, and since then I've pretty much never looked back. So I have been in this space in many different capacities, as a retail investor, as a researcher, advising different crypto projects here in Sweden. But this is the first time that one of my crazy ideas are actually coming to life, and it's in the form of actually providing a very strong use case and utility where we solve real problems in the world. So the overall core mission for the Mimir World Project is to bring blockchain games to the mass market. I've been working in many different industries. Perhaps one of the most interesting, since we're a gaming studio, is that I worked at Electronic Arts launching titles like Battlefield and FIFA. So I've seen firsthand how centralized this gaming market is, with some very big companies that make a fortune off of players, and of course many of them provide some very fun games, but at the end they leave very little back to their community. So that is hopefully something that we can change. We're disrupting a very big market, and yeah, I think that will probably answer your first question.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for the detailed response there, Viktor. Moving on to my next question here. Can you tell me a little bit about the Mimir world of blockchain games and essentially your mission when it comes to this?
Yes, I already front run you on that question, but in essence, one of the cool things that we're actually doing is that we are building blockchain games, but not just a blockchain game that should have a token without any utility, or where we try to raise a lot of money. We're actually doing this because we're super passionate about games. We're super passionate about blockchain games. And one of the cool things that we're actually doing is that we have a very mass market focus on the games that we are building. So the end product for all of the games coming out in the Mimir world should be that we actually have a game that a normal person can play. A person that plays mobile games should not be scared of playing crypto games. A lot of crypto games out on the market today are very centered about building some kind of crazy astronomical price performance for their token, and they miss out on the most important thing, which is launching a game. And the cool thing with the blockchain technologies that we have implemented in all of our games that are coming out is the fact that we bring the entire game fee idea with play to earn, NFTs, provable fair gaming, and actually doing it in a way where we can onboard the mass market. And that is why we are starting with the Mimir Quiz as our first game coming out, since it's centered around the most popular, universal, and the most proven game concept of all time, which is trivia. So that's our core mission. And a cool thing about GameFi is as well the amazing social benefits that people from all over the world receive in terms of that. So we're giving back the power to the players, and we are disrupting a huge market with this.
My next question here, about the first game launching, the Mimir Quiz. Can you elaborate just a little more as to what people can expect about that?
For sure. So the Mimir Quiz game is centered around, just like I stated, the most popular and universal game concept of all time. I often say this in interviews and to people who are asking that I will give $10,000 worth of Mimir tokens to anyone who can find one person in their network of friends or family or strangers that have never played a quiz game. Our whole entire society is based off of quizzing people, all the way from school to work and in games. So quiz games are a universal phenomenon in that sense. And that's why it's so cool that we are bringing this game to life in a form of a blockchain game, where we can actually have a strong mass market potential and let people that have not been introduced to the amazing world of crypto to see the benefits that come with it. So the Mimir Quiz game will be a quiz game launching in Google Play and App Store on the 7th of November this year, which is also quite unique. We launched our first game just a couple of days after the Mimir Token launches. So that is something quite interesting, since not a lot of projects do that. So the Mimir Quiz game will have two different games. It will be a traditional quiz game where you can play 1 versus 1 against people in a quiz round based format. So you will have 5 different rounds and you will have 3 different questions in each round. So you and I, Professor Crypto, could challenge each other and see who comes out ahead and who's the real professor of quizzing. But the highlight of our game is based off a very popular concept in the quizzing, which is the live quiz shows. Pretty much everyone knows about the concept of Jeopardy, the TV show that spread like wildfire all over the world. But something that has happened the last years is that people have turned off their TV and picked up their smartphone. And that's where people pay most of their attention today. So instead of watching TV with a quiz game like Jeopardy or Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, we're inviting users from all over the world to partake in our live streamed quiz shows, broadcasted here from Stockholm, but sent out to all of the players around the globe. And that's a very cool thing, because then instead of watching other people answer questions and watching other people win money, we're actually letting you be part of the live show. And by just answering questions and joining the fun, you can actually win some life-changing money. And perhaps the Mimir Quiz game can have the final answer to the question of who wants to be a millionaire, because that's something that might very well happen in our games.
Nice. Well, it sounds like it's a lot of fun, Victor. I mean, definitely looking forward to trying it out myself. Wow. Okay. So what would you say would make the Mimir Quiz game different from all the other crypto games that are on the market, other than the fact that they're more trivia based?
For starters, just like our core mission states, we're bringing these games to the mass market. Even though that there are a lot of fun games centered around crypto or blockchain features, it hasn't really gone mainstream yet. But if you look at the overall idea behind game fee and all the different things that come with blockchain technology, it truly has a very revolutionizing concept behind it. And it is centered around giving more back to the community of players and not so much back to the giant gaming company or companies behind it. So the cool thing with our game, the Mimir Quiz game coming out, is that it's centered around bringing in the mass market, and that's a huge opportunity for us. And trivia is a universal concept. It has very low skill level. By logging in or downloading it from Google Play and App Store, you can start quizzing away. You can grind it out 24/7 in our 1 versus 1 game, and you can join our amazing and exciting quiz shows that are live broadcasted. So it's a very low skill level. It has mass market potential, and it's very easy for people to just go in and earn some Mimir tokens. And we also have a very cool game concept where you can actually stake Mimir tokens. So you and I, Mr. Professor Crypto, could actually stake Mimir tokens to build up a prize pool to compete for. And that would mean that if I were to challenge you for 100 Mimir tokens and you accept my invite, then we are now playing for 200 Mimir tokens, where the winner will take it all. So in essence, it's a game that is centered around quizzing, super popular, and it's also centered around adding some extra spice. So I think in essence, that is something that we will see a lot of people have lots of fun with.
Okay, so my next question here, Victor, is regarding the different game modes in the Mimir Quiz. Are you able to shed any light and information as to what we can look forward to those different modes?
Sure. So to start off, the Mimir Quiz game is quite different from a lot of other quiz games out on the market. This current situation right now for the 350 million people on this planet that play quiz games is that they either pay a monthly fee to enjoy the gaming content, or they play a freemium version where they have limited gaming options and where they actually are super annoyed about all the ads that are popping up. The Mimir Quiz game changes that. We are launching this in the same place where you find your mobile games, but we're bringing a game that is 100% free to play, that comes without any ads, and we can enjoy 2 different quiz games all in the same application. So our game modes are 1 versus 1, where you can challenge other players in a fun quiz game, and of course our live shows. But we invite our users to play 2 different versions of these games. You can either play 100% for free, and for doing so you're rewarded in Mimir tokens. With these Mimir tokens, you can also enter our play to win mode, and that is for the quiz players who want to add some extra spice to their quiz experience. So with Mimir tokens in the play to win mode, you can actually stake Mimir tokens before entering a game against a person, so you can build up a prize pool to play for. So in our live quiz shows, we will have free versions, but we will also have entry fee versions where you have to pay Mimir tokens to enter. So if you look at the metrics of some other traditional game shows that are centered around live quizzing, they have, for instance, in the US, you have HQ Trivia that had at their peak 2.5 million people all joining in to play the same quiz game and fighting for a very little winning in fiat money. And in Sweden here, we have 2 different live quiz shows. And Sweden is a small country with only 10 people living here. And at their peak, they had 150,000 Swedes all joining in to play the same quiz show. So you can see how popular this game show concept is. And it's more or less centered around the viewers that have normally watched this on TV, but letting them into this world where they can be part of the action is both very thrilling, but can also be very rewarding.
Can you tell us a little bit about the use cases and the utility of the Mimir tokens?
Sure. So the Mimir tokens are, you can earn Mimir tokens for simply playing our quiz games. They are 100% free, and for doing so, you are rewarded for a play-to-earn model based on your playtime, achievements, and winnings. So that's a very cool and clear concept. Another thing that pertains to the utility of the Mimir token is, of course, that you can do in-game purchases. You can, for instance, buy lifelines if you answer a question incorrectly in our live shows. You can also skip a question. You can delete a wrong answer to make it easier for you. But most people will probably use Mimir tokens to enter into our play to win mode, where you can actually stake Mimir tokens to compete for even bigger prize pools. So that is connected to the entry fee that people play, which is the total sum of the prize pools in our quiz shows that we are airing. So that is a very clear utility on that end, but we also solve a big problem, and that is connected to prize distribution. So these different quiz, we didn't come up with this live quiz show format. This is a worldwide sensation, started by HQ Trivia in the US, but we also have this all over the world. But no one that has a game show that is centered around giving away fiat money can grow beyond their own borders. And that is due to the fact that there's no good way to send money or transfer value across nation borders to anyone across the world. And we solved this with the blockchain technology working in our game. So by doing that, we can be the first mover to market with this amazing game concept, and we can actually invite the entire world to join in on the quiz fun. And once people play, earn, and win Mimir tokens, that will be instantly transferred to your wallet, wherever you are in the world. A nice feature that our blockchain developer has added to the Mimir token is also that it's a decentralized governance token. That means that you have voting rights. So if there's a strategic decision that the Mimir team wants to get their community or our community behind on, we can simply have a voting on that. So all the holders of the Mimir token have voting rights. So that's something very cool as well, to really get the community behind on all the decisions that will shape the Mimir world.
Now, regarding the blockchain technology in your game, can you shed any light on that?
Yeah, so our blockchain developer, he has actually built in 6 different blockchain technologies in the Mimir Quiz game. So the Mimir token is the one and only token ruling the Mimir world of games, and the token is built on Ethereum. So back roughly 6 months ago when we started this project, the overall idea was to build it on Ethereum. But since Ethereum is a mess right now, it's impossible to really build a game upon it. But it's the biggest network out there, so the Mimir token is on the Ethereum network. But we have bridged it over to the Polygon blockchain, where we use Polygon as our layer 2 solution in the game. And by doing that, we can actually provide all in-game transactions to be run without any gas costs, because they're so low, so we will cover them. All transactions are also done instantly. And perhaps the best part about it is that we can actually scale this game to have hundreds of thousands, even millions of players in the game doing transactions, because the Polygon network can really deliver that. And that solves pretty much all the problems that Ethereum is struggling with right now. We're also using Saya as our gaming engine. Saya enables us to run all the blockchain functions in our game serverlessly. So that's something very cool. We're also using Chainlink's VRF function. Chainlink actually reached out to us roughly a month ago, and they showed us some cool features about their VRF function. And how we use it in the game is that we actually have a database of over 100,000 questions. And to prove to players and also assure them that these questions are fetched randomly and provable fair, we can do that by adding the VRF function of Chainlink, so they can rest assured that no one is cheating on that end, and that the questions come at random. So that's very good. We also have Morales that is connected to game. And the most interesting thing here, which a lot of crypto games lack as well, is a fiat on-ramp. So one of the things, besides settling on the trivia side of the mass market potential of this game, we will also have a fiat on-ramp. So when we onboard the mass market into our quiz game, they can actually buy Mimir tokens with their credit card, and you can also buy it with crypto. So you can buy the Mimir token instantly in our game, and that's a very cool thing. I have not seen anyone done that before, so that's very good. And lastly, we have the MetaMask wallet connected to our game, where you receive your winnings, your earnings, and where you can send and receive Mimir tokens.
That's great, Victor. Thank you very much for all of that information. Now, wrapping up our interview here, when is the Mimir Token and Mimir Quiz game going to be launching? And where can people find more information about this project if they're interested in doing some due diligence?
So the Mimir Quiz game is actually coming out just a couple of days after the Mimir Token launches, and that is something very unique in the crypto space, that you actually deliver on that promise just a couple of days after the token launches. So the Mimir Token will launch through a combined IDO and IEO. So we will have an IDO at starter that leads to a listing on Uniswap, and then we will have an IEO at gate.io that will lead to a listing at Gate. So that opens up, the IDO opens up on the 2nd November, and the Gate IO opens up on the 4th November. So we will list this in a dual way on the 4th of November on Gate and Uniswap. And if people have found this interview interesting, and if people love quiz games and finding out more about our project, they are more than welcome to go to www.mimirquiz.com, and you can also find us at Twitter on Mimir Token, and also on Telegram, Mimir Official.
That's great. Thank you so much, Victor, for all of this precious information on Mimir. It sounds like you guys are definitely going to be revolutionizing the blockchain gaming industry. Again, you're tapping into a market here where you said it's one of the biggest games in the world. Of course, trivia, it's something that everyone around the world knows. This is definitely a green light, guys. Something that we're going to want to stay interested in, maybe stay up to date with, do some of our own due diligence. Again, Victor, I want to thank you for all of your time and for being on the channel. We really appreciated having you, and definitely wish you a great rest of your week.
For having me on, yeah, we look forward to bringing blockchain games to the mass market.
That's great. Thank you very much, Victor. Take care.
Take care, buddy.